Welcome back to another episode of NFT Catcher Podcast. We'd like to remind everybody that nothing on the show is meant as financial advice, and to please do your own research. Thank you, and enjoy the show.
Now the subject is NFTs.
They're known as non-fungible tokens, or NFTs.
NFTs are exploding in popularity.
This is a technology that will forever change the way people interact.
So it is happening whether you understand it and like it or not.
This phenomenon is moving. The digital.
You have now joined Jenny from the blockchain and Michael Keene on the NFT Catcher Podcast.
What's up, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the NFT Catcher Podcast with me, Jenny from the blockchain, and my co-host, Michael Keene. For today's interview, we have artist Vinnie Hagar joining us today. Vinnie, welcome to the show.
Hello, thanks for having me.
Yes, and we definitely have a lot to talk about, especially, actually, you're our first guest that we actually get to talk about VCon with. Like we've had a few guests on, but they didn't go to VCon. And so you're kind of our first guest where we get to talk about VCon for a bit. But before we dive into that, let's find out about how you got into Web3 and how you found out about NFTs.
Sure. Yeah, I think throughout all of my artwork, it's like all these shapes and symbols, and they create these like patterns. So I was always interested in putting like these patterns or drawings onto as like many artistic mediums as possible. So, like did a bunch of works on canvas, like normal paintings, and then started drawing on clothing, and then doing murals. And then of course I like stumbled upon like an iPad and like drawing digitally. So I kind of had that in the back of my head. And I think at the time, I think it was like early 2020 before the pandemic, I was starting to just share my artwork on Twitter in general, and started to follow artists like Jonathan Wolf and Ferocious, and they were talking about NFTs. So kind of fell down the rabbit hole in that way. And then I was doing a lot of airbrushed clothing at the time, like custom home goods and clothing. And I went and delivered it to this guy who purchased it locally. And he was like, do you know what Decentraland is? Or like what these whales are? And like, he was using all these kind of like terms. And I was like, not really. But so he kind of like, ushered me in a little bit and explained some stuff to me. So it was all this culmination of different things that led me to just being like addicted to Twitter and making a ton of different artworks and stuff like that.
When was that? Was that like early 2021, late 2020?
Yeah, I think it was maybe like early 2020, like right before the pandemic.
Before the pandemic, early 2020.
Yeah, it was like I was on Instagram a lot, just posting my artwork, and I was like,
cool.
I just want to use Twitter as like a different social media platform. And at that time, I was just following other artists that I thought were cool, and some of them were kind of talking about NFTs early on. And
so that's really, really early. I mean, you were before.
Yeah, I wish I was like buying a ton of stuff then.
Right, you're buying up punks and stuff. Yeah, I know.
I was. I minted some of my first artworks, which were all like physical drawings that I just scanned in. I was like, do NFTs have to be all digital? Do I have to make it digitally, or can I mint a drawing? So exploring kind of those thoughts, and some of my first three things I minted were physical drawings, different various kind of drawing styles too, and I was on Rarible, and kind of started from that.
Nice. I think you might be the earliest artist that we've talked to that's joined the space. Early 2020s is pretty early.
Ooh, yeah.
As
maybe.
far as an artist goes, like there's some of the OGs, Jimmy, and we've talked to, but like as far as a straight artist, I was surprised you said early 2020.
Yeah, I wish I took it like I wish I caught the bug like really quickly on. Like at the beginning, I just kind of like go into it. I was still like very, very art focused, just like learning more. I was more so attracted to look at other artists' work and stuff like that. I didn't really realize what all these other people were kind of doing about like collecting and like kind of more of the culture around it in a weird way. But I think it all came with time, of course, and being addicted to Twitter.
Who were like some of your first collectors? Like you said, you put up work on Rarible. Like, do you know the people that collected your artwork in the beginning?
There's a couple. One standout collector, he bought my Genesis piece on Known Origin. A.W. Henry was this great guy on Twitter. He was just one of my first support. I remember dude, we got a 1/8 bid on this like first piece. Like it was the piece that was displayed at VCon. Actually, is this like golden. It's called like Millennium Notepad, and just like this golden spinning piece, which is like my first time kind of animating my artwork and taking it into something. But I knew some of the first ones or gotten to know them, and some of them I can't recall if I ever talked to them, if they ever asked why they bought it or anything like that. So, or who still has them, really. I wish it did. But.
That's interesting. Yeah. Okay. So I guess that's a good segue into VCon, which, if you guys don't know, you probably do, because I've talked about this multiple times, but Vinnie was on one of my panels when art gets personal, which was on Saturday, day 2 of the conference, with Vinnie Hagar, Jen Stark, Trevor Jones, and Mika. And that was my last panel, and I felt like that was actually my favorite. Don't tell any of the other panelists.
Doesn't exist.
That was my favorite. But I always feel like your last is sometimes the best one, because you're the most warmed up. But I also feel like
it's a sigh of relief.
Yeah, but I also feel like I vibed with everyone the most. Like I feel like, you guys were all like just really chill, and yeah, it was very comfortable and fun. But yeah, how was your whole VCon experience? I mean, what was that like for you? And did you went to the first one too, right? Okay.
Yeah, I was invited to speak at the first one, which I thought, what a great honor. It was great for the first one, and I got to go, and how they took care of how Vayner, kind of took care of everybody and took care of all the strenuous travel, and that was all part of the speaking deal, and it was great. I always VCon, the first one, like kind of set this precedent, and I was like, dude, all of these people online in one place. There's not like 1,000 different things to do in New York. It's just kind of in this, kind of out of nowhere town. So the only thing to do was hang out at the conference, hang out at the hotel lobby, and just get to know people. So riding high on from the first one, the second one I thought was just as good. I think there's different things in the market that people are talking about. So, maybe NFTs aren't like the hottest topic for maybe a different fan base of Gary Vee or things like that. But for the most part, I got to see and hang out with my friends, meet new people, talk about artwork, and that was great. I love VCon. Excited for the third one.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, I love that the first one was in Minneapolis, or shit, I don't know if I say that wrong or not. Minneapolis? Okay, I feel like I always say it wrong. I need to stop saying the city. Minnesota. The first one was in Minnesota. Second one was in Indianapolis. And yeah, I agree. I like how it was in, a place where, okay, there's not a bunch of other stuff going on. New York can get so stressful just walking around.
17 different things going on at 7 p.m. every day. It's like, I don't know. Choose, but yeah, VCon is, I think, special like that there isn't like 1,000 side things. It just kind of keeps everybody in the same place.
Yeah,
it really is.
Did you have any favorite moments from the conference, or any people that you were really excited to meet that you got to meet this time around?
Ooh, I think me and Danny Cole hung out a lot the first VCon, and that's where we kind of hung out a lot for the first time, actually. And I was like, Danny, are we gonna do it up again for VCon number 2? So it's always lovely hanging out with him and hanging out with Klon, like just all the art kids. And then hyped that we got to do the panel. We crushed. I'm glad the topic was very broad and open, like about personal art. So I love that. And I don't think there was anybody on like maybe my wish list to meet, that at least that I couldn't recall. But it was lovely to see all the old friends, and then meet a bunch of new people.
You were on my wish list to meet. I hadn't met you yet. You're the only person on the panel that I didn't know.
You at the first VCon.
Wait, we met at the first one?
No, I said, were you at the first one?
Yeah. Oh, I was at the first one. Yeah. But I didn't see you there, or I don't know. I didn't run into you.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, people, it's like sometimes when you meet someone for the first time, they're not always like friendly, but you were honestly one of those people where like you really stood out as incredibly friendly. Like, and I didn't even, and you didn't even know me. So I was like, oh my God, that's so nice.
Right.
So yeah, appreciate the good vibes.
Yeah. No, we crushed it on the panel.
Yes. And speaking of the panel, so I actually wanted to kind of bring people a little taste of the panel, I guess. So I was going to ask the 2 questions that I asked you on the panel. So first of all, there's, 4 speakers on the panel plus me, the moderator, and we only have 25 minutes. So, there really wasn't time for much. Basically, we did 2 questions that the entire panel answered, took turns answering, and then we did like a Q&A at the end. A couple people got to come up and ask some questions. But so first question I asked everyone was, how do your personal experiences inspire your art?
I was like, when I read this, I was like, oh, should I get like really personal? Should I just do like a blunt answer? I was like, I don't know. Yeah. And I was talking to my girlfriend about it, and she's probably overhearing me talk, but she's an art therapist. So she's like examining artwork in like different ways. So I always kind of pick her brain about what she sees in mine, or what the connection she makes. And I think in my personal life, I've had a lot of like ups and downs and close family deaths and all these kind of ups and downs. So, but I always had artwork, this thing that I could kind of control. Like in my artwork, I can create whatever I want, draw whatever I want. It can, contain whatever. So it's like this sense of control. But like in life, sometimes stuff just happens and you can't control it. So I think that's where a lot of my artwork comes from, like this kind of harmonious way of putting shapes and symbols together. That's kind of like Zen almost. It's kind of just this calming thing that I just sit down and do, and I kind of put it on as many things as I can. And that just got me thinking about like control and things that are out of your control, and vice versa, and maybe how that relates to my artwork. So I was like, hey, that's hidden like a personal thing in there, and kind of trying to connect personal life, what I draw, how I create, where it came from, and kind of all these different aspects of it all. So I thought it was a great question at VCon too. It just kind of like opened up this different way of thinking for me too. So it was good.
She's the best moderator there is right there.
Right.
Okay, please.
Nobody can compete.
I'll pay you $100 later. Thanks, Michael.
I also don't know if anyone else has moderated 6 total VCon panels. You might be like, they might be tied. There's nobody
6
that's done
total?
more than you, right? Because you did 3 and 3, right?
No, technically I did 5 on the first one because it was a 3-day. So they did.
Oh, so you've done
2.
now 8. You've done 8. You've moderated 8 VCon panels. I bet I bet you're hard pressed to find anybody that's done that many.
Got to do them all.
I don't know. I guess you'd have to really look into it.
You need to be hosting the whole thing next year.
Head moderator.
God, that's too much.
Gary listens. No, he's gonna hear that, and he knows.
Oh man. I mean, probably Carly Riley. She's really good. She moderated a bunch this year, and
but she wasn't there the first. She wasn't there the first year, right? So you got the head
Yeah,
start.
she was. I actually was.
Oh, was she? Okay.
Yeah, I only saw her in passing as she was coming off stage, and I was about to go on stage. But she moderated last year too. So.
She's actually doing a live taping in Miami tonight that I was going to go to, but obviously not because I wanted to do this.
All right. Okay. And then the other VCon panel question was, this one actually Jen Stark helped me come up with, because I was like, I was like, what do you think I ran into her on the day before, and she was like, you know what? I think if everyone kind of shared their journey on, how they became an artist, like that would be really good. I'm like, okay, if Jen Stark says it's a good question, we're going to do it. So can you share with us a bit about your journey to becoming an artist and how you've made it to where you're at now?
What a big question. I think kind of the thing that I always say is like, definitely just remember being like a little kid, like always surrounded by art books and like art in the home, and drawing on the driveway with chalk. And my mom did like displays in malls, with mannequins and different clothes and stuff like that. And my dad was like a mechanic. He like fixed stuff. So he worked with his hands. So I think I got some good genes that just led me to make and create different stuff. So born with that, and then kind of just kept rolling with it, and took all the art classes in elementary school, middle school, high school, was always super into those. So I just kept following and making it in different ways. And I remember stumbling upon my kind of style of drawing that I do now, and kind of just stuck with that. And I think the one thing that I did differently than most people, I just explored as many artistic mediums as possible. Like one of them was gonna do something different than the one prior. So, can make my artwork from canvases in a gallery to public art to NFTs to clothing, and kind of just explored all of those, and it really just kind of led me to here and meeting a ton of different people. And in a short way, I guess that's the synopsis.
And I feel like everything has happened. I don't know. Has it? Because you seem really young, so I feel like everything has kind of happened really quick, or at least moved like relatively quickly. How has the timeline been on everything? I know you went to art school, like college and everything.
Me and Jen Stark went to the same school. I went to the same school as Jen Stark.
Oh, really? That's crazy.
Yeah. In Baltimore, MICA, Maryland Institute College of Art. Yeah, I graduated college in the pandemic. So I wasn't even in school for like a year. So I didn't get to use all their resources and everything. So maybe that ultimately also led me to like be more digital and just be on Twitter. And like most people, kind of maybe that's how they found it as well. Yeah, well, I was full-time artist before college and all through college. Most of my art stuff helped me pay for a lot of my art school. So then, I was just like, I'm just going to be an artist, however that is. I'm just going to figure it out and try to work really hard in as many different lanes and be interested and open in as many different things. So that led me to NFTs. And I was like, I can build out collections and these things that I'm kind of already interested in and just, exploring my artwork in a bunch of different ways. And then you put out collections or one-of-ones and people can potentially buy them. I was like, okay, that can be just another way to live as an artist for the time being. And I guess right time, right place, just being on Twitter all the time, get connected with certain people and opportunities come and just kind of build it up from there. And things have felt fast, but they also feel slow. So I think I'm just trying to take every day as it comes, as cringy as it sounds, and just go with the flow.
Do you recommend art school for young artists? Because you said you were kind of a professional artist as it was going. Yeah.
I won't say I'm even professional yet now. But I think living as an artist now is probably easier than ever with as many resources that the internet has. Maybe it was definitely daunting, 10, 20 years ago to be like a full-time artist. It'd probably be, I don't know if it'd be way harder or way easier. You could, go either.
Well, I was actually saying, so if you have someone who's a young artist who's coming up, should they, what did you take away from art school? Did it help you become a better artist? Not really. Yeah,
Zero.
Sure.
Oh.
Well, and then also maybe the pandemic played a part of it too, because they just kicked us out and then still had us pay, but then I couldn't use the shop, the screen printing stuff, you name it. But I still think even the artwork that I was making in art school was totally different than these shapes and symbols that I was doing literally as my job as an artist outside of it. And I remember some of my professors going "Oh, you do all this is you're an artist, or you do this stuff outside of school?" I was like, "Yeah, I'm in art school. I'm an artist." And they were just confused because I did something really different in school. So I used it as an opportunity to use all their resources and to explore, many different things and to meet other like-minded people. And I just didn't find really any of that, plus the timing when I went to school. But it could be helpful for a lot of other people, and it couldn't. I think if you're motivated already, don't go.
Right.
But if you want to do some exploring and you have some time and you want to meet a bunch of potential like-minded people, and then yeah, it's great.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel that too. College is a good, if you really don't know what to do in life, just
or if you want to be a doctor or something.
Right. Yeah. So, okay, you said you stumbled into your art style now. I mean, I am kind of curious how you came about the art style you have now. I mean, it's very, you just know right away, oh, that's Vinnie Hagar. It's very distinct, Yeah. How did you come up with that style?
Yeah.
What inspired that?
Yeah, I think I was like I said, always into art and always had art books, and remember watching YouTube videos as a young kid of graffiti videos in London and all these just art movements, have books on Picasso and or Banksy and all these other people. So I was always interested in graffiti and repetition and getting your mark out there. So I just remember scribbling all over my paperwork and handouts in middle school, just I couldn't pay attention, so I just scribble and fill space. And I just started to draw these shapes and symbols and just literally fill space with them on all my papers, and just got this bug. I was I was always creating either drawing portraits of people and trying to draw real, and then for fun I just scribble these shapes, and kind of just kept doing it, and kind of got more refined, and then I kind of break it down, and yeah, it just became a baseline in all my artwork, and then started to think about little shapes and symbols that are recognizable, but then there's ones that aren't. And some of my earlier artworks, it was kind of a scene. There'd be pyramids and all these little shapes and little, beach scenes and Pokemon and stuff. It was a lot more imagery based when I first started. And I kind of started to boil it back down to these just bold shapes, but still do both all the time. A bunch of different drawing experiments. So.
Cool. Yeah, that's really got fired up. Jenny and I were looking at each other who's going next? I did my research today. So I first of all, you go to Vinny's Instagram page. Your Instagram page is really great. I don't usually go on Instagram, I'm always on Twitter, but just looking at all the physical stuff you've put your art on, the lemon, the motorcycle helmet, the DJ booth, the basketball backboard, the shoes, the toys, everything.
It's
you can
aesthetically
imagine.
pleasing.
Yeah. Scroll through that. It really is sick. The Mario you did is sick. It's all really, really cool. But my wife had a box. Do you know Native Shoe Brand? You know those?
Not off the top of my head.
Look at the pictures that I'm sharing in our group chat right now. This brand stole your art style for their box.
Wait, is that why does that look like what is it, Keith Ledger or something? Or wait, what is he called?
Oh, whoa. I mean, it's not extremely hard
Keep
thing
tearing.
to copy. It has been done before. Artists,
Yeah.
but there is a particular fake. So I did a custom pair of these Yeezy slides like a few years ago.
Yeah.
And I guess some big manufacturer overseas just ripped the design.
Oh, wow.
Like they come up in like TikTok ads. They come up in
And
my
they've just been
Like
pumping
the
them.
exact design.
It's horribly skewed. Like mine, I kind of precisely draw each one. This one just looks copy and paste and just slapped on a fake Yeezy slide. But they're just everywhere now, and more people have been sending me them.
Oh, wow.
Do you feel like it brings more brand awareness? Like, is that detrimental? Or do you feel like it kind of helps a little bit because of exposure?
I think I have no clue. I think people are like, dude, you made it, when they're like copying you and making fakes. I'm like, yeah, but it doesn't. It just feels weird. Like I've seen like influencer people wear them on TikTok. Like there's like this Italian basketball star that was like wearing a fake one. It's very weird. But it does make me think like, maybe I should like try to copyright some of the shapes and symbols, or is there a way to that? I don't know. But then I'm like, Web3 is like all CCO and like open, and like, I'm in the middle trying to figure it out and learn more about it all.
Right.
Yeah. That's funny. So my wife bought these shoes and she had this box and it was in the trash. And I was like, we're having this artist on. I was like, this guy's coming on the podcast.
I do that little like pigtail squiggle.
Yeah.
Quite a bit. But yeah, I mean, definitely like bold lines, easy to see.
Yeah, no doubt.
It's been done, but looks close.
And then also in my research for the first time today with ChatGPT browsing, I was on the fishing dock with my son and I was sitting relaxing and I asked it to tell me everything it could about you in bullet points.
Wow.
So I got a nice, you want to hear what it says?
Something out?
Yeah, what did it say?
It spit out a whole bunch. Vinnie Hagar is a Maryland-based artist who has gained attention for his work in the NFT Web3 space. He's a recent graduate of Maryland Institute of Art. Before the advent of Web3, he was living with his grandmother and focusing on his art. His distinct style is called iconography. Is that true? I don't know if this is all true. Sure.
I mean, iconography is just like just means like shapes and symbols. I'm pretty sure. I use the word quite a bit. I like the word. It's good.
Okay. His first project was Letters by Vinnie. Consists of 1,000 unique hand-drawn pieces. Members of the NFT community, particularly the Cool Cats community, resonate deeply with your project.
Love that.
Some even use letters as their background. Your team for his NFT project was formed within the Cool Cats community, fostering a deep understanding and trust among its members.
Well,
despite your success, Hagar remains grounded and continues to live with his grandmother in Maryland. He even paid off his grandmother's house in
Is this true? Can you confirm or deny?
I don't live with my grandmother. But she's 94. So
wow, congratulations.
But she's kicking butt, but very close to my grandma. So I'm always over there helping out, but don't live there anymore. But yeah, she had like some type of payment on her house that needed to be paid off. So it wasn't a ton, but I just wanted to help her out. And I think it was like on her birthday. Letters minted October 30th, or 29th through the 30th, or the 30th through the 31st. But her birthday's right there. So it was like a half a gift. And I'm like, oh, I'll just do something fun for my grandma. It wasn't like hundreds of thousands of dollars or anything crazy, but it was a nice gesture that I wanted to do for her. And
that's amazing.
I don't even think she remembers it happening. So I don't know. Yeah, it was just
ChatGPT knows about it.
Yeah,
and then it says
information being pulled.
Yeah, I know.
All the sites, everything on the internet it pulls from.
Yeah,
right?
it's weird. I don't know. Man. Yeah. And it says you treat everyone you meet with kindness and candor, regardless of their follower count, celebrity status, or whether they can afford to buy your NFT.
Don't know where that came from, but yeah, I tend to be nice. I try to be nice.
Yeah, wait, how'd they know that?
I don't know, man. I'm just telling you what this. And then it says
blame it on the robot. All right.
His future goals include owning his own studio, having his art featured as a balloon in the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade, and continuing to create and build new things in the Web3 space.
The studio wasn't really a goal of mine. I had a studio in Baltimore. My lease just ended. I never used it, so I didn't renew. So the robot was off on that one. Great flow would always be sick, and then somehow the cool cat.
Have you ever said that? Have you ever said that anywhere?
He must have said that.
You don't remember? You don't remember? That's weird. Mm-hmm. I wonder if I can look up where it referenced. That's really, it's crazy. That's my first time doing that.
Yeah, I love that. It's fairly spot on. I didn't know it's better than anything, to be honest.
Oh yeah, it goes. I mean, it actually gave me like 10 paragraphs, and I asked it to put it in bullet points because it was like,
wrote a whole story about it.
I know. My question, I said, please tell me everything you can about the artist Vinnie Hagar. Please use as many websites and articles to gather information. Please highlight all of his accomplishments in the NFT Web3 space. And that's what it spit out. And then I was like, please turn this into bullet points.
I love that.
Yeah, it's not too bad.
Not too bad. Yeah, I think the robot was a little scary, but pretty good.
Wait, go ahead. No, go ahead.
No, you go. I was gonna say, normally I do my own research, but I was sick this weekend, and today I was on the fishing pier with my son, so that's why I decided to do it.
Yeah, I think it's great. I mean, why not? Yeah. I ask it questions all day long.
Oh yeah, totally. The more things you could think of, just pop in there, especially now with the browsing and the plugins have been a little bit not great for me yet. I'm still trying to figure out the plugins.
I've been typing in I'll get like international orders for like a custom hat or something like that. And sometimes I'm not sure if I have to ship it a different way. I like plug in the international address in it.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Break this down for me in a way where I can copy it and use it somewhere else. So I'm like, just try to use them like instead of like a search engine. I'm like, instead of using Google, I'm like, let me just see what this can do differently.
Yeah.
So
right.
Michael, have you chat GPT'd yourself? Like, tell me everything about Michael Keene.
I will try that. I will try.
Now I want to do that for me. I'm like, what does it know about me?
Well, it'll know. It actually, I've done you, and it was wrong. Let me try and find it.
I wonder if it keeps all like the recorded. It
said you're like from New York or live in New York. It was like said all kinds of.
Wow.
I don't know.
Wait, that's good. I want them to think false information. Actually, never let them know the truth. Mm-hmm. Wait, that's actually good.
Spread the false news, the fake news.
Yeah, fake news. Vinnie, so one of the things that was kind of brought up multiple times was you working with Cool Cats.
We like the cats.
So what did you do with Cool Cats?
Well, I didn't work with them. I was just like, it was like my first NFT that I bought that was like a sizable amount. I was like, I never spent this much money on anything in my life, but I'm going to buy this digital cat. And I like Klon's artwork. You know, we both kind of have this bold line art style. And me and my now manager and best friend Toby Lasso met through the Cool Cats, and we went to like the first unofficial Cool Cats meetup in LA and met all these kind of people that were in the community. So it was like this first like Web3 community of people that I met in real life and have good relationships with and friendships. Yeah, but I never like worked with the Cool Cats. Just hung out in person.
Got it. Yeah, Cool Cats was actually Extreme Tom was our first ever interview guest. Like that was our
rare.
Yeah, I know. And I still have a Cool Cat.
We love the cats.
Yeah, we love the cats. They minted on my birthday actually, July 1st. So
love that. Yeah, the cats are great. They will forever hold a place in my heart, and try to follow as much as I can about all the stuff they're doing, and love to see Klon, and we love to draw and just sit and chat. So it's always been great.
So, okay, talk to us about letters, because was that really your big, like, I feel like that was your big, like, Web3 breakthrough moment of, like, I mean, letters, 1,000 hand illustrated 1-of-1 pieces. And that's like your first NFT collection.
Yeah. First, like, major collection. I was minting some like 1-of-1s and smaller editions. So I was like, dude, I like this concept of building out like something big. It's not a 10K, but it's like an art version of that. So I was thinking about a body of artwork that could be, be encapsulated under like a theme, which ended up being letters in the little envelope shape that I draw. But that each one of the pieces in the collection could kind of stand on its own. They're all hand titled and hand illustrated, all 1-of-1. So they're not generated. I drew all of them and hand titled them, and they follow a rarity chart. So it was just like this project that I want to do, like a bigger art project. I hadn't even never done that prior, really. So just a project that I wanted to do, and teamed up with the right people at the right time, and I guess it was history after that. But yeah, it was definitely like stepping stone from just being the artist that I was before on Twitter, maybe.
Yeah, and that was 2021.
October
2021.
Yes. Yeah.
Ooh, Halloween.
Yeah.
Halloween.
Day before.
Nice. Oh, right. 31st is Halloween. Well, that's awesome. Yeah, I mean, definitely you're early. Just the fact that your collection even minted in 2021. That's always an early sign.
I think in the craziness of like January 2022, didn't you shoot up to like a 70th floor?
Yeah, I think there was crazy run-ups, it's like allow list meta and like all this. So all my friends and all these people I were meeting were doing different projects. I was like, yeah, sure, you can give them the letter holders. Why not? We're just like
and people, sure.
Yeah, small fun art thing. And so people were trying, gamifying, doing whatever they do, trying to gamble for the next allow list so they buy whatever.
What's that like? Yeah, what's that like for an artist? Is there like, do you feel more pressure? Like, are people coming at you?
No, because it's I put the artwork out in the world. I didn't say like I'm just the artist. Like,
of course, yeah.
People were still thinking about it as like this is like a collection that we're gonna trade, and like for me it was like this art collection. This is like it's all inside jokes and fun stuff for me. And I'm like, I thought it was great because I just would be on Twitter all day talking about it, and royalties were a thing then. And I was like, sick. Like I can afford to live as an artist right now and hype that momentum. But yeah, it's always crazy to experience. But yeah.
Yeah, it's cool. And the fact that you have 78% unique owners is pretty wild.
Yeah, I was looking at some of those stats the other day. It was on OpenSea, there's only like 15 or 20 out of 1,000
that are listed
on OpenSea. So yeah, I try not to look at metrics because it's like I said, it's out of my hands. Like people, if the floor was 100 ETH, somebody could just floor to 1 if they wanted to, because there's not that many of them. But I'm just hyped to keep creating artwork and try to give back to letter holders as I can and do fun, interesting art things. Like that's what I can do. So it's always fun. Always kind of with new ideas.
Hell yeah.
What inspires you to like keep creating art?
Oh, I think it's like a crippling addiction. like right now, I'm just like scribbling.
Oh my gosh, that's great.
Like drawings, notes, and everywhere, and just like have the talked about it before, but like the opposite of artist block. It's just like too much at all times. I'm like, I'll just just write down all these ideas. Oh, that could be cool. This could be cool. Oh, I want to do this. How about this? Should we talk to this person? Like all the time. So sometimes I gotta like pull it down, but yeah, I think there's always 1,000 things to do, but it's hard to do.
Right. But just tapping into that creative side and just allowing yourself to be free and creative.
And then something always turns up, I guess. Just by, and also that's the thing, just by doing stuff all the time, things end up happening in like magic. You're just like, oh, I want to do this artwork for so-and-so, or I want to talk to this person about it. Somehow they just fall into your lap sometimes. And I think that's one thing that artists might not do too much. They don't like let things take time, and you just gotta kind of be on the pulse and persistent. And
if you, but that is so crazy. Like, I mean, I guess it's kind of like manifesting stuff that you want, or just like thinking of what you want, and then it ends up coming to you. Like, it's just so crazy how
so true.
How that
kind
works.
Of cringy, and people definitely blast the manifesting word out a lot. But I think if you actually like, if you can envision something like, oh, I want to sell an artwork, I want to do a collection of 1,000 artworks. It's like you just take the time and make it and put it out in the world. Or I think with any goal, it's just time spent doing the steps, and most of the time it happens if you care enough.
Yep, so true. Oh yeah, I wanted to ask about your girlfriend being an art therapist, because I know she's not here, but I'm like, what does that mean? Like, what is an art therapist?
Yeah, I doubt she's awake, but works with like little kids, like 4 or 5-year-olds, and uses, well, I mean, art therapy is like super broad, but like using art to learn about somebody, learn about past traumas. It's all like through the act of the client using artwork, and then the therapist kind of reacts to what they see in the artwork to bring up certain things or communicate it differently. And so she'll be like, your style of artwork, the materials you use in your artwork are akin to this. I'm like, how? It's true. It's true. I'm like, I would have never thought about it like that. So we have conversations with like that are pretty interesting. I learn a lot about, it's like if you were to draw like I can't even think of an example, like a bird in a nest. the way you draw it or the materials you use, or, what's your first thing that you draw, they like pick up on that. And they like, it's meaning it's, you did it you did it for some reason, and they know the reason. When you don't, you would do it natural. So they can like tell sign. It's really interesting. I'm excited to learn way more about it. I'm sure I'm butchering it.
Oh, that's very interesting. So yeah, you're learning a bit. She's like probably teaching you a bit about yourself. Like,
like fully learning. Like, I use pencils and markers and these certain materials because they're like static. Like I don't paint a lot because paint's like fluid and it's more like emotional and certain things. But I'll use like markers and these rigid things because I don't know, I'm closed off. I don't know. It could be anything. Right. But there's reasoning behind decisions, which I think is interesting in art.
Yeah, that is very interesting. I'm also very curious on your creative process when you're like, for example, maybe your letters collection. It's like, how did you decide the quantity? How did you decide all the different styles, like the rarity, all that? I mean,
that was making a great team. Toby Lasso, who I brought up earlier, manager. At the time, we were just like friends that we met on the internet. And I was like, hey, I have this idea. Can you help me out? And that's another funny thing about manifesting. Right before I met Toby, I was like at this point in my art career, in quotes, being like, hey, I could really use like an extra hand with like working on stuff. Like I have all these ideas, but I don't have like people to help me out. Out of the blue, Toby Lasso in my DMs. I'm like, boom. He's like, hey, I love your artwork. If you have any ideas and you want to talk about stuff, let me know. I was like, this is what I've been thinking about in my head for the past like 2 weeks. Heaven sent. So that's I'm like, amazing. Yes. So then I had him and I'd be like, hey, I want to do this collection of 200 pieces. And he goes, no, 1,000. I go, deal. Yeah, I'll do it. So then I asked my other friend, it's like, hey, you're way better at math and breaking down NFT collections. Like, help me break down a rarity chart of what I should draw. And then we had our another friend, Dose, who came up with like different like marketing things. He's like, oh, people are going to put their letters behind their doodles and their cool cats. It's going to be like the background of the PFP. I was like, brilliant. So that it was just surrounding myself with people that were way better at things, that thought differently. And it came together like that. It was a perfect storm, I think. I'm really proud of it all. And for the guys that helped me out.
What did they mint at? I don't remember what they minted at.
0.1?
Okay.
Shame. I don't know.
Yeah, I hear. Yeah, it's all right. It's all right. Cool.
Yeah, maybe 0.1. I think that was probably the normal. Then it would have to be.
Yeah, probably. It's fine. It was like 2 years ago, so
yeah,
I definitely would not remember. What's your PFP now? Like what? I'm so curious. I'm been looking at that. I'm like, what is that?
My cool cat, but now Gremplin, the artist of Crypto.
Okay. Right.
He was doing these like. You just tweet out like drop your PFP or I'm drawing stuff or whatever. And so people would just drop their pictures of themselves. And that I had a picture of myself like this, like somewhere, like me just like smushing my cheeks up. That's a photo I sent and he drew it. And I was like, this is so sick. I love his artwork. I love all the stuff he builds. He's like,
that's a Gremplin?
This cool artist character that I just happened to know on Twitter. And he drew me. I'm like, yeah, I want to put it as my profile picture. It's great.
Dope.
Yeah. His artwork's amazing too. So it's always just been that, but it's a portrait of me.
Yeah. And also congrats on selling out. I mean, just today you dropped your trucker hats.
Yeah, we did a little physical web store.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. VinnieHagar.store.
Yeah.
Check it out. Yeah, everything's sold out right now, but
yeah, I was doing that. Yeah, like I said earlier, that kind of like kept me afloat to be a full-time artist, like before NFTs and through college and stuff. I just do hats or ski masks or screen printed t-shirts, sticker packs, just like once again putting my artwork on as many different materials and things as possible. And sometimes people can afford artwork on a t-shirt but can't afford it as an NFT or as a big painting or whatever. So just try to give access to people if they're interested in those things. So
love that. Are those hats the hats with like the puffy white paint? They're not hand done, are they?
Yeah, they're all hand painted. All
really?
Yeah.
Wow, that's incredible.
Yeah. And I love the puff paint. Very versatile art.
Yeah, you're actually giving them away. Then I was like, man, not many people can get $65 on a trucker hat, but the fact that they're hand painted.
I'm keeping things affordable.
Yeah, you are. No, you could have doubled that.
You want more people to wear it. And
yeah, I love that. I gotta turn my notifications on to catch that next time.
Yeah, we're revamping all of my kind of like clothing side of my artistic brand. So we're going to be doing kind of more try to do more regular
Love that. I'm gonna get some merch soon. I want to rock it. And,
yeah, let me know. We got some good stuff going.
I will. That's what's up. Those hats are really cool with the puffy paint.
Thank you.
Should check those out. They're really, really cool.
Yeah, I'm doing hopefully have some exciting stuff with those coming soon too. So
nice.
Working behind the scenes.
Ooh, Alpha. Wait, yeah, this is our good segue too. Okay, what's in the works right now? Anything in the future that you can share with us?
I don't know what I can and can't share, but some other exciting partnerships coming up. We did, me and Tommy Hilfiger did a collaboration in Decentraland for Metaverse Fashion Week, which was like a obscure kind of interesting left field thing for me to do. We made some digital wearables and some AR filters, which was a great experience. So hopefully we're going to be doing part 2 of a collaboration. Have some other partnerships, collabs coming up, but trying to work on more paintings. Might have a small collection of like physical drawings that come with NFTs as like a release coming up. That'd be like 100 of them. We'll get the digital and the physical. So I'm trying to work out all the kinks there.
Alpha League.
I won't talk too much about everything. We got a bunch of lovely stuff. So just trying to get it all done, I guess.
Awesome. Yeah, that's exciting. Yeah, Michael, do you have any more questions before we go into Gas Wars?
Yeah, I just had one more, and then we'll go into Gas Wars. I wanted to give you a chance to just shout out any artists that you think deserve a little bit of light, a little bit of shine, artists that you're fans of.
Cool. First, people that come to my head, this group of artists called Making It 24/7. Bunch of artist kids on Twitter. One of them is my good friend Alex or Alec. It's like ALEQTH. Both like lived in Baltimore at a certain time, so we were like friends in real life and kind of got to NFTs at a certain time. But he kind of curated this like group of artists, and they do group drops. And I mean, there's just so many talented people in this like collective. Also, my friend Max Kolchinsky's collective called For the TL or the Timeline. They do a bunch of art events. So just like all these like creative young artists. Kids and people, and they're just all making great stuff, and they all do like group drops and in real life activations at like NFT NYC, but they're all like different at their own different art styles, but they kind of come together. Like that's the coolest thing. So I'd shout out those Twitter group chat crews, things like that.
Nice. I was already following Make It 24/7.
Sick. Love that. Yeah, great.
Yeah, cool. I appreciate that.
All right, sweet. Okay, so now we're going into our Gas War segment, which is basically where we each ask 5 rapid fire questions each. And yeah, try your best to answer in short sentences.
Okay. Got it. I'm on it.
All right, I'm going to kick it off. Who is your most unique pet?
Oh, I had 3 different hermit crabs, but they were all named Zippy. They all had the same name. My only pets. I've never had any other pets.
What the heck? Damn, that's crazy.
What's the best place to try crab in Baltimore?
I don't eat a lot of seafood. I probably should have a better answer.
That's okay. I didn't even know. I know you're from Maryland. I didn't know if you're from particularly Baltimore.
Yeah. I live in Baltimore now.
Oh, wow. Okay.
But I've always been around Baltimore, but I don't have one that's to the top of my head.
It's all good. Yeah, I asked because we're on our family road trip up north this summer. We're spending a couple nights in Baltimore. So my wife loves crab
my Baltimore
legs.
pride points just went like all the.
Yeah, I know everyone's gonna hear it and be like,
"Oh, this guy."
Yeah, I thought you were gonna be like, "Oh, there's this amazing local spot." It's been around since the 40s.
Oh my god!
I'll report back.
Okay.
Just ask Chat GPT. All right, you'll be good. Okay, what's something you're great at cooking?
What about me cooking?
Maryland crabs.
A classic omelet in the morning and a piece of avocado toast.
Let's go.
Nice.
Not much to cook, but
all right. Punks or apes?
Oh, punks. Sure.
Easy. Yeah, you were there early enough that you're like punks.
Yeah, I've always wanted one. I don't know if I'll ever be able to get one, but
same.
Yeah.
What's the best piece of advice you've ever been given?
Oh, don't let any other people control your life in any way. Just like do what you want to do. It's another cliche one, but just like, don't let anybody control, whether it's somebody's perception of you or what, they think of you or what they said or if it's your parents and they're like, no, you can't go out, like whatever it is, just like, if it's important, sure, but like don't let them control everything.
Love that.
What is the best concert you've ever been to?
I think my first concert was Kid Cudi at the Mountain Dew tour in Ocean City, Maryland. I remember going there. I didn't really know what it was. Like, I was into skateboarding and like BMX, and like Kid Cudi was there, and I knew like Day and Night and like that kind of era. Cool. But now I look back and I was like, damn, what a great kind of sick first concert. Yeah. Maybe that one.
That's an amazing first concert. That's crazy. Who is the most famous person you've ever met?
I don't know. I can't think of anybody like.
Really? Well, maybe Gary Vee, I guess.
Yeah, but Gary's like.
Yeah, but he doesn't count.
Like if it was like Justin Bieber or something. I'd be
right.
DJ Khaled, maybe. I like this cameo.
You met DJ Khaled?
Yeah, at this cameo party, Miami Grand Prix, I think. I did some artwork for Cameo, so I, got close with them and go to their event. They had like DJ Khaled there. There's like this photo of I drew this like astronaut suit, like the helmet. It's like this photo with DJ Khaled and is like next to my friend Oliver and this astronaut helmet. So maybe him. It's just like a hi, bye.
Right.
I met him as well. Jay-Z concert in Miami. He was like, we were up close and like with like an hour left in the concert, him and his whole crew came like right up front by the stage.
I love that. Yeah, I mean he's a wild guy on the internet.
Met is probably I'm stretching it.
Same.
You're like in the same vicinity.
Yeah. Now that I think about it,
like, hey, and he goes,
yeah, I saw him.
Yeah. DJ Khaled looked at me.
He looked.
He didn't even.
I don't think he just looked past me when I was like, "Hey." Right.
His bodyguard shoved me out of the way. I don't know what was happening. Yeah.
I had dinner with Oprah's boyfriend. Whoa. Not one-on-one, but in like a group.
Whoa.
Jen, you better
Stedman Graham. No. That's his name.
It's Cedric,
nice.
Right?
Stedman Graham. Yeah.
Love that.
Yeah.
If you could spend a day in someone else's shoes, who would it be?
First answer goes to like my grandma. Just to be so interested in be like 94 and living in this world. And maybe like Kris Jenner or somebody like really out there. Be like, what the heck? She do all this. Yeah, that's interesting.
Okay, Kris Jenner sounds good.
My grandma or Kris Jenner?
Yeah, it's very the spectrum
asked
there.
Me another question another time. They're like, you could go to dinner with two people, dead or alive. I was like, my grandma and Kris Jenner.
That's your go-to answer.
Yeah, I think it's
great.
I'm holding strong to that.
Let me see. This is my last question, right? Around 5. See, I want to ask you what's the worst job you've ever had, but I feel like you've never had.
No, I worked the night shift at Michael's, so maybe that was bad, but I enjoyed it. I worked go in like midnight, like take the stuff off the truck and like put it on the shelves and stuff. So I do all that at night and reorganize or like move. These frames need to go over there, so you like move stuff. And yes, I worked like there, and then I worked at my local skate shop in Annapolis, Maryland, pure board shop for like 5 years, and then I was just full-time artist. So I've only kind of had 2-ish jobs.
2 like normal jobs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But I learned a lot of business from the skate shop and dealing with people, and then also doing creative stuff. And then from Michael's, I was around art supplies and got discounts. So I think
it ties in.
It paid off.
Cool. And what's one thing about you that people don't know?
Probably that I skateboard a lot and made like skateboard videos quite a bit when I was growing up.
Corey Van Loo did that too. He used to make skateboard videos. I think scooter videos was his.
Yeah, I think a lot of skateboarders end up doing a lot of different other creative outlets. Like music, photography, graphic design, whatever you name it.
Totally.
So, yeah, maybe that first thing that comes to my mind.
Yeah. Dope.
All right. Well, that concludes our gas horse segment.
Made it out alive.
Yeah. Great job. Vinnie, thank you so much for coming on the pod.
Thanks for having me.
This has been a lot of fun. Yeah, we appreciate you.
Perfect. Yeah. Send me the link whenever it's up. Love to share it. Post wherever.
Yes, definitely. And shout out to everybody listening to this episode. Hopefully you enjoyed it, and we will catch you in the next one. Peace.
Thank you for tuning in to the NFT Catcher podcast. We hope you enjoyed today's episode and learned something new about the exciting world of NFTs. If you enjoyed today's episode, please take a moment to subscribe to our podcast on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you listen to your podcasts. And if you really love what you're hearing, please leave us a rating and review on your favorite platform. If you want to stay up to date with the latest news and insights from the NFT space, be sure to follow us on all the socials at NFT Catcher Pod. You can follow Jennifer at Jennifer_pseudo and Michael at NFTicket. I'm your producer, Andy, and I'm at AJC254. Our theme song's by It's Just Los. We always appreciate your feedback and support, which helps us reach more people and bring you informative and engaging content about NFTs. We look forward to bringing you more great NFT content in future episodes. Thanks for listening. Peace.